So today we have with us Kris Jones, founder of Red Door Designs, who helps service-based businesses transform their websites into compelling narratives through a signature storytelling system. With a strategic blend of storytelling and conversion optimization, Kris guides coaches and consultants to replace complex marketing with a single powerful story, helping them achieve dramatic revenue growth and client attraction. Now, Kris's evolution from designing for Nike and Adidas to helping small business owners demonstrates the power of authentic storytelling. And drawing from 23 years of experience, she's now helping service providers turn their expertise into websites that sell 24/7. Because that's the point. Beautiful. Kris, welcome to the show.
I'm thrilled to be here, Mark.
Well, thank you so much for joining us. So, can you just expand on that very British introduction, as I realized I pronounced all the things in the British terms rather than American? Um, where are you right now with your business, and who do you love to work with?
Oh, I love working with any business owner that runs a client-based business. So if you work with clients, I like to work with you.
Mm,
Service providers, the clients that I work with are really doing the work that they love. They're doing the work that they're put on the planet to do. And they just want to focus on doing the work because they're passionate about helping their clients. They're passionate about the work they do. They're experts at their craft. And what people don't realize when they decide to be self-employed is that you also have to be a part-time marketer. And nobody wants to be a
part-time, are you sure? Sometimes it feels like
yeah,
more than that.
right? This is true. Yes, at least a part-time marketer. And the people I work with, they don't want it to be like that. They want to be able to focus on their work and they want to have systems and marketing tools set up that work on autopilot. So
Mm.
the website is one of many things that you can use to get clients and to really kind of I believe your website should be your most powerful marketing tool. I believe your website should be the thing that acts as your top sales employee. And
Mm.
when it does, it frees up you to focus on the work that you love. And that's what I love doing for people.
I love that. In my past life back in the UK, had my own marketing agency. We focused on user experience, user design, websites, branding, and my evolution went through from wanting to craft something beautiful and gorgeous and with the branding to hold on, it also needs to work. It needs to bring in the ROI. And I truly believe there's somewhere in the middle that it can look good, it can look fantastic and actually
Yeah.
work. And the truth is nobody wants a website. What they want is a 24/7 salesperson, always talking in your language, bringing people through to you. It's it's that need. So can you talk to me a bit about
Yeah.
what it is that your
Yeah.
clients actually want when they first reach out to you? Maybe not what you know they need, but what they think they
Yeah.
want.
Well, what a lot of, I think ultimately, when I talk to clients, they've been embarrassed or ashamed of their website for many years. They often got into business and they were like, okay, I've got to quickly get up a website. I've got to have something up online because that's what you
Yeah.
do when you own your own business and people find me there. And so they they open up a Wix or a Squarespace account and they follow the templates. They pick a template that they think looks pretty and they kind of fill in the areas of where the suggested copy would go.
And it turns into a Frankenstein's monster, right?
Well, sometimes, I mean, it can look okay, right? Some of those templates are kind of pretty, and there's nothing wrong with Wix or Squarespace. I actually really love cloud-based builders. I think they're very easy to use. Um, but those companies are in the business of a brochure website. And
Mm.
so when you use their templates, you end up with like technically you have a website, but it doesn't actually work to bring you clients. And so by the time my clients come to me, a year or two or three has gone by and they think back and they go, gosh, not one of my clients has found me actually through my website. Maybe it should be working better.
Can we just talk about that difference and expand on that? Because a brochure website versus a lead generation sales website, can you just
Yes.
define that for everyone?
Yeah. Yeah. Of course. Yeah. So a brochure website is really like an online brochure. It's like you have a website, people go to your website, there's a picture of you, there's a paragraph maybe introducing you. Hi, I'm Amy, and I'm a coach. I've got 10 years of experience, and this is how I got into, this business. I have children. This is my
Mm,
dog. I'd love to walk on the beach. Like all these things, right, about you. And I get why this happens, why most people have brochure websites, because that's what the template told you to do. And you thought, I might as well follow their lead. They know what they're doing. They're the website company. And so that's how it happens. And a brochure website is a place where people can potentially find you and say, oh, she's really nice, or she's pretty, or she's smart. But when they come to your website, they don't land there and go, she gets me. She understands
yeah.
exactly what I'm struggling with, and she is the right, or he is the right person to solve my problem. And I'm so filled with hope and connection, and this sense that I'm not alone in my struggle, and this optimism that I've found somebody who can help me finally overcome it, that I cannot wait to click on that call to action button and
Yeah.
schedule a call with this person. So that's the difference between a brochure website or an actually a story driven, high converting website.
So for me, it sounds like it's a bit rather it's the one website is a look at me website rather than hey, let's talk about you websites. They are two different things. I mean, crumbs, I get to see so many websites with guests coming on that we check them out, see their websites, and there are so many that are 25,000 photographs of you talking about you. I'm like, I know everyone's told different things, and if it's the templates take you in a different direction, but what do they want? Why are they here? What's going to get them
Mhm.
to?
Mhm.
I can't remember who said this. Every single job, every single page, every single headline is not to sell or get the end job. It's everything has one job, lead to the next. Get them to people to lean in, like, oh, tell me more. So
Right. Right.
maybe you're going to destroy that for me, and I'm completely wrong. But can you
No,
expand on?
no.
Because you,
Yeah.
you hinted on the story aspect of this from your your
Yes.
your website. So can you just like start to expand into that world?
Oh, of course. Yeah. Every story you've ever heard, every movie you've ever been to, every book you've ever read follows the same story formula. It always begins with a hero that has a problem they don't know how to solve. And what I want your listeners to know is that you are not the hero of your own story. You are actually the guide. So if we think about Star Wars, you are the Yoda, and your customers or your clients are Luke Skywalker. They are the hero. They have the problem. You come in a little bit later in the story, not at the beginning. You come in a little bit later in the story as the guide, as the one who can step in and show that you can help that hero overcome the problem. And I would say 99.9% of the websites on the internet right now, the company or the founder is making themselves the hero of their own story. And the reason we
Mm,
don't want to be the hero of our own story is because the hero is actually the weakest character in the story. The hero's stuck with a problem they don't know how to overcome. We don't want
mm,
to be the hero of our own story. We want to be the strongest character in the story. And so it's a complete and total shift in how we communicate about our business. Of course, that shows up on our website, but in a perfect world, if you really want to efficiently grow, the changing that lens of how you talk about your business and how you view
mm,
your business uh, should be infused into everything you do, whether it's a podcast interview, social media post, email marketing on your website, in-person conversation. the beauty is once you do the foundational work of creating your signature story, you get to use it everywhere in your business. And it's actually less work rather than more work. And the more you beat the same drum over and over and over and over again, that's when your marketing begins to really gain traction and you become memorable. And that's half the battle of being self-employed, is just being memorable and being the first one that people think of when that problem arises for them.
Beautiful. I love that. I mean, the hero's journey. It's yeah, it covers
Yeah.
every single classic out there, and it's a proven formula. This is not a
Yes.
hack. This
Yeah.
is it's proven through so much. Now, you
Yeah.
said to find your signature story. Some people don't think they have a story, which is probably incorrect. It's there. You
Yeah.
just need to kind of extract it and bring it out. What are
Yes.
those? If we can talk about the ingredients, can you just talk about the
Yes.
ingredients of the
Yes.
signature story? What are those yummy
Yeah.
bits that are like non-negotiable that you can help people to kind
Yeah.
of think of that I have this in the cupboard. I have this. I can make this.
Mm-hmm. Yep. First, I just want to share that everybody has a story. The problem is we're just too close to our own selves and our own business to be able to really articulate it well. It's kind of like we're stuck inside of a bottle trying to read the label that can only be read from outside of the bottle. And
Mm,
every business owner struggles with this. It's hard to find the words that communicate what you do in a way that people can really simply and clearly understand. So it's very common for me to hear, I don't really have a story, or what if my story isn't interesting? Well, number one, your story isn't even really about you. It's about your hero. And so I'm hoping that'll let people off the hook a little bit. You are a very important character in this story. But when I talk about storytelling, I'm not talking about your founder's story. That is a different type of story. I'm talking about crafting a narrative for your business that invites your potential clients into a story with you, a story where they can envision
mm.
themselves as a hero in your story, and you step in as the guide who's strong, who can put your hand on their back and say, I've got you. Together we'll overcome this. And so it's a different type of story. Not to say a founder's story isn't important, but a founder's story isn't going to get you more clients. The narrative I'm talking about is the an efficient pathway to really growing your business.
But that can we can struggle with that perception. That could sound to some people like they're the same thing. I can't see the difference between this and that. The story that you go on. I mean, crumbs. Let's make this real. Break this apart for me because from you heard me talk about podcasting earlier. Our business has evolved and it's changed over time, which many people do. That came about, and there's a story behind it because way back when we spent so much money on ads, it didn't work well for us. It wasn't aligned with us. Social media wasn't aligned with us. We turned
Right.
to podcasting out of necessity. And then we
Mm-hmm.
found, oh my gosh, we love this, we're good at this, and we're getting better results from this. It's a beautiful way of doing it. So we saved our business through this. And then
Mm-hmm.
a couple of years later, people wanted us to help them. So we're like, okay, we can do this. So we became the Yoda after going through the hero's journey. So with
Yes.
our example, it's more we have a hero's journey where we're the hero, and now we have a hero's journey where we are the Yoda, we are the guide.
Right.
How do you pick apart and work out which one do we tell? Because they're both connective, they're both powerful,
Yeah. Yeah.
but how do you does that make sense?
It totally does. I mean, you're talking about like two different types of stories. And the founder's story, kind of think of it like it's like one nugget inside the larger narrative.
Mm,
So, so when you talk about the ingredients of story, um, I liken this to like a big pot of chili, right? You can't pour chicken stock into a pot and say, "Hey, everybody, chili is ready." Like you have to have all the ingredients in there.
worst chili ever.
Totally, and I'm still hungry. Um, so you've got to have all these ingredients. And when you do
Mm,
have each of the ingredients together, working together, It tells a very compelling story that our brains cannot help but engage in because as humans, we are really wired for story. We've been gathering around the fireside since the beginning of time, sharing stories. And so we, it, our brains can't help but engage when we tell a story. And the ingredients go like this. Every story begins with a hero that has a problem they don't know how to solve. Every story begins this way. They meet a guide who has a plan, give them a plan that calls them to action. And ultimately, that story, that hero finds success and avoids failure. And that final part there between success and failure is what I call stakes, meaning that's how we keep people engaged in this story. Stakes are the reason when we go to a movie, we don't get up and go get popcorn midway through the movie. We don't even get up, go to the bathroom. We don't even check our phone, which is like a small miracle. But that's the power of a story. And that's why stakes are such an important part of every story that you ever tell.
Mm, I love steak. It should be the most important part. But sorry, I couldn't resist. But the yeah, it's there within those yummy steaks. There is urgency and there is value. Maybe the two most important things as a business we need to get across. I mean, that's all great, but there's no urgency and they can't see the value. It's it's a great children's
That's
coloring
the
book.
point,
So that
right? Yeah.
those yummy steaks, that value, that urgency, is there any other ingredients to that, or is that really this is what is in that's the ingredients for this ingredients?
You are so clever.
I try.
Um, so when the guide gives the hero a plan, the plan is the thing that reminds them this is not going to be as hard and overwhelming and impossible
Mm,
as you might think it is. And what happens is they have an internal thought at that point, which is, I can do this. And when they have that thought, they're inspired to click on your call to action, whatever your call to action is. So
mm,
people are very likely to want to click on the call to action if they know it's going to bring them success. They're even more likely to click on the call to action if they know it's going to help them avoid failure because we're constantly trying to avoid failure. And that kind of ties in with the urgency that you're talking about as well. Like people are very, very driven to avoid failure. So we want to create kind of a healthy tension between those two things.
I love that. Look, this is fascinating. I can talk about this all day long. I love these concepts and this flow. But what was it about this line of work, this particular angle that you were like, yes, this is how I want to serve people. This is what I want to do. This is how I want to create. What was that like?
Oh my gosh, I love that question. Well, as I mentioned, I've been doing this a very long time now, and I started out as more of a visual storyteller,
Mm,
brand design, visual design, website design, and this is, in those days I was working with large companies like Nike and Adidas, and Jeff Bezos was a client at one point. And so I worked for these large companies. I learned a ton. Um, but my heart was really with the service providers because I could really relate to them. Like we were all trying
mm,
to make it on our own. And this was back in the day when like all you needed to thrive online as a small business owner was a pretty website. Like if you had a website, you were a legitimate business. And so that's kind of what I honed in on. And
mm,
I loved creating beautiful websites. And often uh, my clients were basically the ones that had to provide the website copy for me. They had to give me the words that they wanted on their website.
yeah.
And I watched time and time again my clients struggle with this part of it. And sometimes they give me pages and pages and pages of content. Uh, or on the other hand, and probably more often, they'd call me and be like, I'm paralyzed. I'm stuck. I don't know what to say on my website. I've got all these kind of ideas, but when I
Mm,
put them down on paper, it's I'm not getting anywhere. And it was at that point that like the landscape online had changed quite a bit.
Mm.
The markets were becoming more saturated. As you mentioned earlier in the episode, words became really essential in telling story, right? The visuals could only get you so far. So I really just made it my mission based on watching my clients struggle, and honestly my own business at that point was struggling. Like the website that had been working for me because it was so visually beautiful
Mm.
wasn't as effective anymore, and I was relying on referrals, which who doesn't love referrals, but they're not the best way to build a
It's not
consistent.
scalable, right?
It's not scalable and it's inconsistent, right? Just
Yeah.
it's hard to know. And so I just knew there had to be a better way. So I delved deep into story at that point. I became one of the very first story brand guides, and that's based on the book Building a Story Brand, which is a fantastic book that I recommend everybody read. But I really got deep into that framework before the book was even out. And I got to learn with Donald Miller, from Donald Miller, and the author of that book, which was a game changer for my business. And went to workshops, traveled, read books, and just like immersed myself in it and kind of came through that period applying what I learned to my own business and also to my clients. And everything shifted. It was kind of miraculous.
Hold
Like,
on. You went through your journey into the wilderness. You found a guide or a mentor along the way. This sounds
yes,
familiar, right?
yes, you're a good listener. Yeah. Yeah, exactly. It's funny because it's true. I mean, that's you just hit the nail on the head. And yet I wasn't doing that necessarily intentionally. I was just kind of sharing my story. But yeah, and then it's very meta, right? And then my clients started getting incredible results. My business started thriving. Like it just was all happening in real time, and it was
Yeah.
so effective that I've
What
just
I love
never looked
about,
back.
if I just
Yeah.
jump in there, what I love about that is I think this is the special sauce that not a lot of people talk about. The authenticity, the alignment. There's a better word, alignment. Because again,
Mhm.
when we tried so many different things, they didn't work for us. I mean, you look hard enough, you'll find me as a video of me with a pink cowboy hat on because one of our agencies said, here's the latest trend. We were out of alignment. The energy wasn't right. Your journey, once you immerse yourself, you felt called to this. Once you find that thing that doesn't feel like work, that is just so much fun, that feels good, when it feels light, it feels energizing, you will see more success. But in this day and age where we're told you need to do this, you need to do that, and it feels heavy.
Mhm.
So your journey, that lightness, I think that is maybe the special sauce I just want to highlight there, which is that's what people don't talk about, that feeling.
It's so true. We're all kind of following those breadcrumbs and that golden thread of our story. And in hindsight, we can look back and be like, ah, yes. But in the moment, you're just like, this feels good. This feels off, and you keep
Yeah,
leaning into the things that feel good. And and you're guaranteed to do well if you do that.
I love that. So let's look forward because as you've as you continue to grow and evolve and serve so many people and help them to craft their own story, maybe not craft, see their own story, bring it out in them. What's What's the vision for you? I mean, some people have their vision nailed down. It is perfect. They know where they're going. Others, it's a bit more blurry, and that's okay. There's maybe parts that are super clear. What's that look like for you? What are you most looking forward to?
Ooh, what am I most looking forward to? I just completed a book. I have a new book out called From Click to Client.
Nice.
And I'm very excited about reaching more people really through the book and really giving people the tools that they need in order to really pull that story out from inside of them. Um, so that feels very exciting to me. I just launched a podcast also called From Click to Client. I think it's just going to be a big year of expansion for me. I think
Yeah.
2024 was a lot of work, and I don't say that in a heavy way. Like, I love working and I love the work that I get to do every day, but it was a fair amount of just, putting my head down and working. And I feel like now, 2025, I get to kind of reap the fruits of my labor,
Mm,
and and enhance my own visibility. But underneath that is really around getting to reach more people and help more people, because pretty much every client-based business owner that I talk to is struggling with this in some way, shape, or form.
yeah. So it's finding those right ingredients. So now you, with your book, your podcast, you know your business inside out. You know this. It's not a fad. It's not a hack. It's something that's going to be here for crumbs generations to come. You get the fun part now, which is, it's just about more visibility, more authority, being out there in the world, being seen in
Yeah.
the right way that suits you. Um,
Yes. Yes.
what did you say earlier? You said about the being that a lot of us are that part-time marketer. When we all get into business, we don't realize, and probably is a good thing, we're not told, here's all the things we have to do, else it would scare
Right.
us off. Um,
Right.
what are those tasks right now that you're most looking forward to? Oh, I get to hire this, I get to outsource this, I get to stop
Mm.
doing this. What's changed and evolved for your business
Mm.
that you can see the effect of now with the things that you get to do or get to not do?
Yes. I think that, hold on, I have to cough. Um, Being self-employed can be lonely at times,
Yeah,
and I've been self-employed for so freaking long. I'm used to it. I never consider myself a lonely person, and I have a great community of people, and I'm a mother, and all of that wonderful stuff. But in the last year, I have brought two people into my team that have lightened the load for me, and it's such a delightful feeling to know that, like,
yeah,
people are working on my business when I'm not working, and this wheel is still moving forward. And these two women that I'm working with, one of them is really honing in on podcast appearances, and also finding the right people for my podcast, which I'd love to talk with you about as well.
yeah,
Um, and and then my assistant Jamie, like, does essentially everything else. And she's I really rely on her. But the cool thing is just that both of these women are very positive. They're very enthusiastic.
mm,
They're just a joy to have in my kind of hemisphere, and they make my work more fun,
but
which I didn't expect that to happen, but yeah.
it's a hard thing that first
Yeah.
hire. It's terrifying. You can make mistakes through this, and it's you hear all the horror stories, and of course, as an entrepreneur doing it all, that ability to let go of some control is, for me, that was the hardest thing. But I'm curious from your perspective. It's different for everyone. What was that first job that you got to let go of? What was it that either one of them? What was the first one that you
Mm.
released and was like? Oh, thank God that's gone. What was that?
I think a lot of it was focused around just maintaining my website, like keeping my
Yeah.
website up to date. I only have one offer. I just do one offer. I keep things real simple, but I have other pages. Like, I have my podcast page where that stuff needs to be updated. And um, email marketing is a slog, in my opinion. Like, I don't enjoy that work. And so offloading that felt really, really good to me.
Yeah,
Yeah. So those would be the two
nice.
things. Yeah.
And it gets to free you up to do those things that you're good at, that are crumbs. Our job as entrepreneurs, as the business owner, do the jobs that only we can do. That should be
Yes.
the ultimate goal. There's systems, processes, other people. But where you are in your journey, I love your, there's the eagerness, there's the excitement, there's the fun of, I've got these people and it's changed everything. That is just beautiful to hear.
It really is. It really is. And it feels so good. I hear you, and like making that first initial step can be a little scary, a little bit daunting. But like what I have found is that like working with my assistant, especially Jamie, she makes my life so much better that she'll tell me like I'm over on my hours this month and I'm like, I don't care. Just, don't worry about that. Just, you know, I don't want her to overwork, but like
Yeah.
she keeps me in the loop on where she's at with her time. Um, but it's like I don't care how much it costs. It feels so good, is
Yeah.
what I'm getting at.
Oh, that's fantastic. Well,
Yeah.
look, Kris, thank you so much for sharing not only the amazing work that you do and how you help guide entrepreneurs through this the 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 murky mire of the story, of the language, of the messaging, and a bit of background of yourself. It's always fascinating. So thank you so, so much.
Oh, yeah. Thank you. Thank you for having me, Mark. It's been really delightful to talk to you.
Are you welcome? And look, for those people who want to know more about you and the incredible work that you do, where can they find you? How can they reach out?
Everything you would ever want to know about me, you can find on my website at reddoorstories.com. That's REDDOORSTORIES.com. And there you can find my book. I have a private podcast. You can learn about how I work with my clients one on one, where I really write your story for you. I've got all kinds of free guides and good stuff for you to find there.
Fantastic. Well, everyone, if you're curious or think it sounds fantastic, please go and check it out. And if you want to start the conversation, say Mark sent you, and just enjoy enjoy your hero's journey. Oh my gosh, that's what it's all about. Kris, look, thank you so much. This has been so much fun.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome.